Hello. 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 All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Hello? Hold on, give me a second. All right, market. Market is open. All right. Where's the little... Am I tripping? What the... Bro, what the... Bruh. What in the actual... Supposed to be a... Give me a second to... There's supposed to be a drawer that pops out. How do you freaking open it? But... Freaking liars. You liars. Oh, whatever. I'm trying to figure out a... Oh. All right. Sorry. I'm trying to get set up here so I can all right, let's quickly start on the 15-minute chart. So, all right, we're coming up to, let me mark it out. This is a pretty interesting area right here. Potentially, for me, it'd be worth taking. So this 15-minute, we have a... Let me grab this one. We got a 15-minute low that's getting swept as we speak. All right, it just got swept, that 15-minute low. Marked it out. Let's see what happens. Can we start to get momentum to the upside? If we can close, we got this gap. Let's see. So it'd be like that, but all right, let's see what kind of happens here. Can we get that sweep and... Appreciate the like. Thank you. All right. If we can close, I'm going to go in. If we can close above this gap right here, I'll take an entry for probably these highs right here. So we'll see where it closes, how it closes. I mean, we got room as long as we can. We're kind of below view op right now. All right, how many more? We got 10 seconds left on this candle right now. If we can get a close above this gap, if we can get a close, above this gap, all right, we kind of closed. All right, I'm in. I'm in, and I'm going to target kind of these highs right there. Let's see. Stop below the lows. Crap. It's not looking good. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. Did it close, or was I just a dumb trade? No, it closed. It wasn't a confident, it wasn't a good close though. Let's see. See if we can start ripping back up. I mean, it's rejecting our view up. Freaking A. All right, I need this breakthrough. Ah, crap. It's rejecting it pretty hard. No. No. Let's go. All right. If we can bounce, targets are up here. So I'm going to sell 7 right at that high. We got that push. I'm back at break even. We need to break through view up. Let's break through view up. Come on. Yes. Let's go. Breakthrough view op. Let's go. Rip it. Rip it up. We need strength to come in here. It's starting to reject off view op. They need to break it through view op. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's get the view op push. Come on, view up. Dang it. Oh, come on. Don't do this. Ah, the freaking view up is pissing me off. What time is it right now? 9:38. All right, buyers. This is a tough area. It's a really tough area. We need buyers to start to step in. Come on, we've already taken that low. We've taken the low, so let's move on back up. There's no reason to go back down. What are you doing? Come on. You've already taken that 15-minute low. Let's go back up. Don't go down. Let's go. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Come on, NASDAQ. Don't do this. Don't do this. I'm telling you. You don't want to do this. Come on. Oh, come on. The freaking view op, man. I hate the view op. Are you kidding me? Oh, come on. Let's go. Push it. Push it. Push it. Let's go. I feel like the more I yell at NASDAQ, the better it moves. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Yes. Push it. Push it. Push it. Come on. You can do it. Don't you freaking dare reject off of here. Let's go. You've already taken out the lows. Let's go up. We're above you up now. We're above you up. We're starting to push. We're starting to push. We're starting to push. TP. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Oh, come on. It's so freaking close. Are you kidding me? Woo! TP! Yeah! That's the way we do it. That's the way. I like it. What can I say? Execution. That's what it's about. Dude, I almost freaking got stopped out. That was... Listen. That had my heart rate at like 100 something beats per minute. I ain't gonna lie, that had my heart rate racing. That was, not gonna lie, that was a pretty scary trade. The reason it was scary, because you don't see it on this chart right now, but we got view op sitting right freaking there. Here, let me draw a line. So, if I draw a line, where's my line tool? Check this out. You don't see it on this chart, but if you're looking at a chart with view op, right where this line is right there is where view op is. So that's why I understood me getting into this trade, and it literally barely, I mean, did it really? Maybe one thing I could have done better looking back at this trade, one thing I could have done better was wait for a better close. Like, as this closed right here, I was kind of like, it's kind of closing above it. So I took a long, and what I should have done was probably waited for like a better, like a close like this. I should have waited. And then I wouldn't have had any drawdown if I would have done that. It is what it is. I mean, that's kind of I kind of jumped in a little too early on that trade. Like, it did close, but barely closed. Like, debatable if that was actually a close on this candle. I mean, it looks like a close. It did close, but barely. Barely. Always start green. Yeah, that's right. I mean, at this point, it's like, I don't even care if there's no more setups. I got a good setup. Analyzed it. It was a great trade. And this market is so bad, no breakouts for days. Yeah, I mean, well, why? If you're a breakout trader, this was a breakout right here. I mean, the same trade I took was kind of a breakout. Right? You look at this range you had put in right there. And then I guess as it broke out of this kind of like broke out of this high right here, and then it's, you know, but depends what kind of breakouts I guess you take. But looking at this, like, being a breakout trader, looking at this hindsight, it's a lot easier to see, but that's why I don't really trade breakouts. And if you're wondering like what my what my strategy is, what I was looking for. So initially morning came in, right? I'm looking at the 15-minute chart initially. Why did I take this trade? Look at the 15-minute chart, right? I marked this out right here, right? Marked this level out on the 15-minute chart. So then I went down to a 1-minute chart, and I was looking for a bounce off that, a sweep, and then a bounce off that level. So what ended up happening was, right, we got a sweep, and then We swept, and then we started to kind of inverse this gap right here. We barely inversed it, but we inversed it, and I took a long right there. Now, that being said, right? Yeah, my stop was down here. Look at that candle. It almost took out my stop. Looking back, I should have waited for this candle close, like a stronger close above this gap instead of this one. Kind of got a little too excited, but it is what it is. I mean, it's still a good trade. We closed above the gap, and then I targeted the highs right here. Which highs? I think I targeted these highs right here. So oh, man. Oh, man. Let me see. How do you play music on TikTok? I'm trying to figure out. There should be a way to. Sound effects? Sound effects. Alright, whatever. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it another time, but. But yeah, I mean, now at this point, listen, hey bro, do you have any tips for someone who's trying to get into trading? Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to learn trading, first thing I recommend is do not buy anybody's course. Don't buy anyone's course. There's plenty of information on YouTube for free to be able to learn. Second of all, I would recommend going into futures, right? With futures, you have prop firms, and you can in 2025, you can actually get into trading for a pretty cheap price. Not like before. Back in the day, you used to have to put in, thousands of dollars to get into trading. But now we have prop firms. I mean, you can easily, like futures prop firms. I trade with Apex. I have 10 funded accounts with Apex. You pay a valuation fee, which is like right now 80% off, like 30 something bucks for the evaluation fee. You pass the evaluation, you get put, then you pay an activation fee, which is like 140 bucks, I think, with an Apex account, and you get put in what's called a PA account. When you're in the PA account, you can actually start making profits. So when you start making profits and you get to that $3,000 profit target, after that you can start every, like, I think 10 days you can withdraw profits. And there's some rules to it, but if you learn how to trade and you are disciplined and have a strategy and you can prove to yourself you can make money, you can start taking withdrawals from these funded accounts that you initially had very few money into it, and then eventually you can get thousands of dollars out. But yeah, I would go with futures if you're trying to get into trading. It's just it's the best level of entry for like somebody who's trying to learn with these prop firms. But I would stay away from using your own capital pretty much. All right, now at this point, let me make sure. Right. I always got to make sure I flatten everything, and it's the other thing about it. Make sure you flatten everything. So sometimes if you forget to flatten it and you have an order sitting out, you'll get out of a trade and forget about the order, and then you'll get back into a trade not knowing. But yeah. So okay, at this point, right? If we look back at the 15-minute chart, right? We got a pivot up here. I mean, honestly, I don't know. Maybe if a good trade sets up, maybe I'll take another trade. Hold on. These are... Crap, these are pre-market highs. Just a second. Let me try to switch to my... Just in case I take another trade, I think I want to take it on my funded accounts. This is kind of like a... Let me get this set up. I have to kind of get my copy trader set up for my funded accounts real quick. Alright, I think I'm good. We have PA1, mixture of contract size. That would be horrific if I got into. All right, so now what I'm looking at, right? I got that set up. Now this 15-minute chart, right? Let's see what happens here. We're gonna get probably some form of a rejection, or we can continue pushing through this. I got these highs marked out right here on the 15-minute chart. If we go back down to the 1-minute chart, let's kind of see what happens at these highs. I mean, could we start ripping and take out this high and potentially have some kind of a leg down? And if we do take out these highs, we start making a leg back down. I mean, we could likely bounce off of, you see this old resistance becomes new support level right here. Sorry. This old resistance becomes new support level. So if we were to kind of sweep these highs right here, I would be interested in potentially taking a short back down to like, kind of like these tops right here to kind of bounce off of. So far, we're kind of double topping right here, as you can see. We're not really bouncing off it yet. I mean, sweeping it. So we'll see. Either we sweep it and we start kind of reversing back down, or we just continue pushing up through it. One of the two. What platform are you trading on? This is Ninja Trader right now. Thanks, bro. I've had a lot of people tell me to get into trading, but I don't really have a clue what to do. Yeah, especially right now. I mean, there's so much information on YouTube. I mean, you could learn. I mean, it's gonna take a while to learn it, but yeah, prop firms are the way to go. Apex, like, and pick like reputable prop firms. Apex, a pretty reputable prop firm. Top Step is a reputable prop firm. These like big prop firms that have been proven to pay out people. All right, we're going for this high right here. There's a pivot here too, which I really like too. But here's the other thing, right? We're not forming any gaps yet. In order for me to kind of want to take a trade, I need this thing to kind of squeeze really hard through this level, form a gap, inverse the gap for me to kind of take a short back down to like this old resistance become new support level. What do you think a good website for paper trading? Paper trading, I mean, here's the thing. If with futures, I would get Ninja Trader. I can't speak. Here's the thing. I can't speak on other futures like brokerages. I can only speak on Ninja Trader. The reason when I started doing futures, I went into Ninja Trader because there's like one of the most popular futures of like the charting platforms out there. So yeah, that's my opinion. I would use Ninja Trader. But I would go with prop firms. I mean, the cool thing about prop firms, right? Here's the thing about paper trading that, like, when you paper trade, you can learn you can learn a strategy, but the only thing you don't have is the actual, like, emotional aspect of having skin in the game, right? Emotions are a big part of trading, whether people like to admit it or not. And at least with, like, prop firms, futures prop firms, you pay like for the evaluation, and then when you pass the evaluation, you pay the activation fee, which you don't have a lot of money in the game, but I mean you don't have a lot of skin in the game, but you at least have some to where you get that emotional aspect of trading. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. No problem. And pick a strategy. I mean, there are so many strategies out there. Choose something, right, and stick to it. One thing you do not want to do in trading, especially when you're learning, one thing you do not want to do is strategy hop, right? What a lot of people do, and this is what I did in the beginning of trading, is people choose one strategy, and if it doesn't work for them, they start hopping to different strategies. And every time you hop to a different strategy, you kind of reset, right? Because it's a different strategy. Now you have to learn a whole bunch of stuff. Now, once you become more experienced and you kind of know trading, you already have a strategy that you know, you could start learning new strategies. But I wouldn't I would pick a strategy and I would kind of stick to it. If it's proven to work, I would kind of stick to it. Unless it doesn't align with your psychology, right? Like the reason I scalp is because, I mean, it's just my psychology. I like scalping. I don't like sitting in trades for long periods of time. Some people like holding trades long. Some people like scalping. I heard of 2 highs and 2 lows. Is that a good strategy? I've never heard of that. 2 highs and 2 lows. But in general, here's the thing. Based on how I see the market, here's how the market moves, right? We have imbalances in the market that the market creates from big moves in one direction. It creates imbalances, right? So the market moves, in my eyes, it fills imbalances and it takes out highs and lows, right? So for example, if you look, this last trade that I took, why did I take that trade? If you look on the 15-minute chart, right? 15-minute chart, when we had market open, I immediately marked out these lows because I see this as a big form of liquidity, right? Because market tapped into this area and then had a big rip up. So market open, I marked out this line right here. So this line, this was an area of interest. What I wanted to see was this liquidity get swept and us to confirm that we want to go back up. So, right, I marked out these lows because market, in my eyes, moves. It takes out liquidity. So what happened, right? Look what happened. These lows, here's the 1-minute chart. We came down. We had a strong move, and this strong move created a gap. See this gap right here? And then it created that gap because of the strong move down. We swept that liquidity. We showed signs that buyers started to step in. And we kind of closed. I took an entry right here. We barely closed above the gap. Looking back, I should have waited for this better close above it. But in general, right, what I'm doing is I'm waiting for a candle close above the gap in order for me to target the next liquidity point that I think is going to happen, right? And in my eyes, the way I look at it as, it already took out this liquidity, right? So if it closes above this gap, in my eyes, there's a higher probability that it's going to want to target the next liquidity, which is this area right here, is the next liquidity point. And I had my target up here. So in my eyes, I already took this out. Now it's going to want to go for this high, at least this high, right? Before it's going to want to go back down. And I mean, I entered right there and it's just continued moving up ever since I entered. So, but here's the thing, you can't look back, right? You can't look back and say, oh, look at this, look at all this I missed, right? Because I took profit right here. You got to stick to your plan. If you have a plan, stick to it. You take profits or you take partials along the way. I don't do that. I take a full TP, but yeah, longer you hold, the more risk. Yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing, right? The longer you're in the market, the more risk you have, right? In essence. And this is also why I want to get into the market. I want to get into the market, have my TP set, and get out. If my TP gets hit, I'm out. If my stop loss gets hit, I'm out, right? One thing I don't want to do is sit in the market and hold. The longer you're in the market, the more exposure you have, the more risk, right? Because let's face it, anything can happen. Trump can tweet something right now, which can cause the market to move crazy and stop you out. So you kind of always want to have, anytime you have a trade on, you're having risk on the table. So you kind of want to take your strategy, get in, get out, and move on. Or if you want to hold for longer term plays, you kind of have to like size down to allow for that potential risk. All right, so look at this. Let's see what happens here. I mean, this could potentially be interesting. The only thing I kind of don't like about this, so see this gap, right? Let's see what happens. I was waiting for this line right here. You can't really, this line right here to get swept, as you see. The line's getting swept. We created this gap, right? So let's kind of see what happens. Either we're going to continue running up, or we could potentially start going back down and kind of sweeping the gap. I could potentially take a short. The only thing I would kind of be worried about if I do take a short from here is we have this liquidity right here. I don't want this liquidity to get swept and then start going back up, which is potential risk. So let's see. I mean, if we sweep this gap, we start moving back down. If we have a closure below this gap, I could potentially maybe want to take a short. Or we just keep going up and I never end up getting an entry. But so far, I mean, we're looking like they're looking like they're pushing it. And if it gets to a certain point, right? As this starts moving up, it's going to get to a certain point that even if it does close below, there's too much risk on the table, right? For example, the more this moves up, the more risk I have on the table. Because the bigger my stop is going to have to be, the more this thing moves up. And it's going to get to a point, if it keeps going up, the risk to reward, even if it does work out, is not going to be worth it anymore, right? Because if it ends up moving up here, for example, and then closing back down, well, my TP is like right there. So I'm going to have a lot of risk on the table for a tiny reward. All right, we created this gap again, too. Interesting. But I would still want to wait for this gap closure. How do I learn? I mean, there's YouTube, I would say. I mean, YouTube is the best way. I mean, it's going to take some time, but like, one thing you don't want to do, don't buy someone's course. I mean, there's too much free information on YouTube to buy someone's course. Here's the thing, you gotta like trading. For trading really to work out for someone, you have to like it, right? And you have to sit here on the charts and kind of analyze price action. Even though if you don't take a trade, the best thing to kind of do is predict, right? Even if I don't take a trade, it's still good to be able to sit here, look at the trade and kind of predict, okay, if price does this, I think price is going to go up here. And then when you can accurately predict price action, it gets actually pretty fun when you can predict where price is going to go next. And you know, no strategy is 100% of the time. No strategy works 100% of the time, so you got to have your stop loss in place. Don't be that person that if it goes against you, you get emotional and then you start moving your stop down, or you cancel your stop and you say, oh, I'm going to hold because it's going to go back up eventually. It's the worst mindset to have. If you get into a trade, you understand the risk you're putting on the table and you know where you're going to get out. You have a plan. If you don't have a plan when you get into a trade for your take profit and your stop loss, you don't get into the trade if you don't have a plan. Because that's how you get burned. And this is me speaking from experience. I've gotten burned so many times when I was learning how to trade. When it went against me and I would start moving my stop down, or I would just, you know, say, I'm going to hold. It's going to go back up eventually. And I've blown accounts like that back in the day by doing that. So now it's like, it's a set plan. I have my TP. I have my stop loss. One of those is going to get hit. It's looking like it's just going to want to keep pushing up. And this is the cool thing about this strategy that I have, like my strategy, right? Is a lot of times if I just never get an entry, I never get an entry, right? It's like if this keeps ripping, I just never get, I never get an entry. So I don't really put, you know, lose money on that. Like I never put risk on the table trying to guess what price is going to do. Now if price comes down here and kind of closes, maybe I'll take an entry. But if it keeps ripping, I'm not going to enter at all until I see a confirmation that the bears want to take this back down. So far, there's a little gnat. So far, price action, it's showing that it seems like it's wanting to go up. They're holding it up pretty well. So there's no reason for me to even try to get short here. And we're coming up, well, it's 10 o'clock. So I forgot to check if we have news. That's the other thing you gotta do, is make sure you know if news is about to come out. Do we have any news today? We had, wasn't really any impactful news events today. Business inventories, housing market index, not really. You gotta make sure that if you gotta know, usually 10 o'clock we have some big news events. You don't want to be stuck in a trade with a massive news event hits. All right, what's this gonna do? Is it gonna bounce? So pretty much right now, what I'm looking at, right? We have this resistance now. This old resistance has to become new support. In order for the bulls to hold this area, they have to bounce off this area right here. They have to hold this level. If they can't hold this level, we're going down lower. So this is a critical level right here that they have to hold in order to push it back up. I may go short, maybe. I'm going short. These are my other accounts. The last trade I took is on one set of accounts. This trade, I'm going to take on my other set of accounts. We'll see how this happens. I mean, if I do go short, right, it's not bad because I can kind of target. I'll target like these kind of this area right here if we do. So see what I was saying? They have to hold this area if they want to keep it running up. And what did they do? They tap back into this old resistance, become new support now, right? So they're holding this level now. So there's certain levels you see. It has to hold this level in order for it to keep going up. If they can't hold this level and we start dumping down, it's going to go lower. Where did you buy? I bought right, let me draw the, hold on, rectangle. So we closed above this gap. I bought right here. So we swept this 15-minute liquidity right here, and we inversed this gap, and I took a long with a take profit right here. So ever since I took profit, it's been ripping ever since I took profit. Which, hey, it's fine. I took my profit, I got what I wanted out of that trade, and I walked away. And see now, I was looking for a short, never got it. And I said, we have to hold this level in order for them to keep pushing it up. And so far, they're holding that level. So there's no reason to even think about going short. And it's fun when you can just sit here and predict price action when you know, okay, in order for them to move it up, they gotta hold this level, and they hold it. Like, it's pretty interesting. Now, if we look on the 15-minute chart, right? Back to the oh man, my back. Back to the 15. So we got like 6 minutes before that new 15-minute candle forms. We're kind of like, right, we swept it. Now we're kind of starting to move back up. We're starting to kind of get strength above that, confirming that. I mean, they're gonna want to, we'll see. Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to going short if they can show me that, if this can show me that it wants to go lower. So far, it's not showing me that. Where is this one? What do you mean? What do you mean this one? This is NQ futures. Oh, what is? Yeah, this is NQ futures. All right. So this kind of sideways. I mean, this is a battle. This is a battle. Are they gonna want to keep it up, or are they gonna want to push it down? I mean, we could easily. I mean, hey. See real quick. All right. Like if I do go short, the only thing I'd be worried about is this low right here. This low is kind of sketchy but this low is kind of sketchy because we could sweep it and go higher, but that's just the risk that if you take the trade. What are we at right now? We have 30 seconds. 30 seconds until 30 seconds until this candle. If this candle can close, I'll go short. We're showing signs of weakness right now. Let's see. I'll go short. Oh, come on, don't do this. Let's 10 seconds. This is not financial advice. Please do not follow me. All right, I'm short. Candle close. I'm gonna try to target just a quick scalp to this level right here. It's kind of, now that I look at it, crap. I should have waited for a better entry. I just think we could man, that was kind of not. See, I'm risking too much. I'm risking too much. This was not a good entry. We're gonna need to, in order for us to go lower, we're gonna need to reject off of this. This has to become resistance now. In order for us to go lower, this has to become resistance. All right, it's starting to form resistance. Let's see, they have to push it down here. This has to become resistance. This was not a good trade at all. So it's forming resistance. They're rejecting off that area now. It's showing signs. Buyers are kind of stepping in. Bro, what the? You're freaking kidding me. Sorry. All right. Come on. I got a bad entry. I should have waited for this. I should have waited for a way better entry. Crap. It'll probably work out, I think, but I don't know, man. I don't like. I just don't like my risk that I just put on the table. They have to hold. Sellers have to step in here, right? Oh crap. Sellers have to step in here. I mean, we need to start. If buyers can start pushing this above this gap, I'm probably gonna need to get out if they start closing above this gap, because this they're showing signs that they want to continue going up. And I'm gonna need to get out. So far, we're kind of like, all right, come on, sellers, step in. We gotta hold this. We gotta start pushing down here. We gotta reject here. Let's go. Buyers can't start pushing this above. If they start pushing this above, I have to have a hard stop above this level. But if we kind of start getting closures above this level, I gotta start thinking about getting out. This is a battle area. If sellers can start breaking this low, I think we're good. Man, I just got a bad entry. I should have waited. I should have waited for a better entry, like around where we are right now. okay. It's all right. It's all right. All right, sellers are starting to reject. Selling pressure is starting to come in heavier and heavier. What are you trading? Futures. This is NQ futures. There the sellers are coming in. There they are. Welcome to the show. I'm not out of the wind. I'm not out of the woods yet. I mean, we need selling pressure. It's about to be 10:30. I mean, it's come on. I have my TP kind of at a, where is it? 23,121. 23,12125. 23,12125. Right at the 200 pretty much. So right at that 200 is my TP. I mean, this is going to be a strong level of support. So I needed to take out my TP before it starts moving up. There's going to be, sorry guys. There's going to be if it does start breaking down here, there's going to be a strong level of support pretty much where my TP is. So there we go. There we go. Let's break it. Let's break that low. Come on. Come on, NASDAQ. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Oh, come on. Do not sweep these lows. I do not want a sweep of the it kind of swept it. I don't know. Sellers are still pretty aggressive in my opinion. I mean, look at the selling pressure. I mean, look at this candle alone. Should have waited for a better entry, man. I would have had more. Come on. Starting to kind of bounce it off this area. I'm just thinking we could hit these I'm looking at these highs right here, right? So if we're gonna reject, look at these highs right here. Right there. Come on, NASDAQ. What are you doing? Like, what are you even doing with your life? Bruh. I don't even have, these are my funded accounts. I shouldn't have. Should have waited. Whatever. Come on, NASDAQ. Let's go. I need it to, it's gonna take out, here's my prediction. Everybody's my witness. I think it's gonna take out my TP, and then it's gonna start moving back up. That's what I want. Take out my TP, and then let's move back up. Can I predict it correctly? Can I predict it accurately? Let's see. This is not financial advice. This is not... Let's go. Take me out. Take out my TP first. What are you doing? Why are you even... Push it down, baby. Man, this is... I put way too much... I put too much risk on the table for... But I said, I mean, if it starts closing above this gap, that's when you need to start thinking about getting out. I need to start getting out. Because if it does close above this gap, that's confirming that we're going to want to continue pushing up. Right now, they failed to hold, they failed to push above this resistance, so we're going down. If we start moving back up and we start kind of like breaking above this gap, I gotta start getting out of this trade. Remember I said we're going to have a lot of support. We're going to have a lot of bounces right there. It's fine. I know it's going to bounce a little bit there. There's a lot of support down here. So we're going to see buyers start to kind of step in here. I just need them to take out my TP before they step in. Like this. What are you doing? Like, come on. Take me out first. Like, be nice. Come on, dude. What? Come on, bro. I knew this could happen. I literally knew this could happen. They're gonna bounce here and they're gonna start trying to move it back up. Why are you stressing over 20 bucks? I'm not stressing over it. I just gotta, I don't like this because I got a bad entry. I may just get out of this trade, honestly. I needed to enter right there and I entered way down here because the candle closed so heavy. And these are my funded accounts. By the way, I'm not stressing over 20 bucks. I'm copy trading 10 funded accounts. So this is all, everything is multiplied by 10. So it's not 20, it's not, what's it called? It's not 20 bucks. So it's not 20 bucks, it's $200. Where is your stop loss? My stop is my stop is once it closes above this gap right here. If we get a closure above this gap, I'm out. There's TP. Yeah, so we're at what? Oh, are you kidding me? Like, bro, what? Watch this stop me out. Bro, it's toying with me. It's messing with me now. That's the 200 right there. Bro, just take me out. What are you doing? Finally. Bro, like, was that so freaking hard? Whoa, why am I still in a trade? Cancel all. No, what are you doing? Flatten. Analysis is key. Yeah, that's you know why? You know that freaking happens because I have a copy trader. Sometimes when I flatten everything, I don't know if it's an actual order, but it looks like it places me in another order. I don't know why it does that. It's the freaking copy trader. I just quickly have to cancel it. So yeah, like that wasn't okay. That was $42. So it's like that's 42 times, yeah, so I made that's $42 per account. Somebody's like, why are you stressing over 20? Why are you stressing over 40 bucks? 40 bucks times 10, it's $420 trade. And these are my funded accounts. So by the way, it's a little stressful trading when you have funded accounts and you know you have actual like risk on the table. Can you make good money doing this, and how do I learn? Yeah, I mean, you can make good money doing this, but it's you learn from YouTube. I mean, there's so much YouTube, I would say, is the best place to learn. There's so much content on YouTube, but there's a lot of BS on YouTube too, so. Are they gonna say, remember what I said? I said they're gonna take out my stop, and then they're gonna start moving it right back up. This is exactly what I said was gonna. How many funded accounts do you have? I have 10 funded accounts. So that trade that I took was multiplied by 10. I have 10 funded accounts and I'm getting 4 more. So like the first trade I took today was on, there was 4 evaluation accounts that I'm trying to get past. Right now on my evaluation accounts, I'm up, how much am I up? 1,300 bucks right now on my evaluation accounts. So I'm up like 1,300 on my evaluation accounts. I need to get to 3,000 to pass them. And then I'll have, after I pass these evaluations, I'll have 14 funded accounts. What topics to check out on YouTube? Honestly, I mean, there's so much strategies. Honestly, I don't even know what you would, like, you would just have to start kind of researching different strategies out there, like futures trading strategies. I mean, this strategy, the kind of that I use is a pretty good strategy, like at least for me. And you can see, I mean, I took 2 trades today, two banger trades. Appreciate the follow, thank you. I mean, my strategies is pretty simple, and I could explain it kind of. Trying to get to 3? What do you mean 3? What are you trading? NQ futures. Look at this. I literally said I would love for them. I want for them to take out my TP and then start moving it back up. Look at that. They took out my TP was literally at this 200 right there. They literally wicked me out of my trade, and then they took it back up. So if I was still in this trade right now, right? If it was to close above this, I would have to get out. But luckily, they're nice enough. The market makers are nice enough to let me get out. But now, okay, now at this point, right? So look at, this is why you need to, and when you're learning, what I would recommend is look at the charts and kind of analyze what price is doing and why price is doing what it's doing, right? So like, right, we took out these highs right here, right? While I was looking at these highs, I have this blue line drawn. That's a high right there. You could see it. We took out the highs and I said, okay, this gap has formed. If we can close below this gap, I'll be interested in going short. I went short. Gotta admit, I kind of got a bad entry because typically I go short on the candle close. But when the candle closes this heavy below, I typically like to wait for a little bounce back above where I would like for it to have closed. Back above, right under the gap right there. And that's what I should have done. Whatever, it is what it is. I took a short right when that candle closed. And I said, right when that candle closed, what did I said? Was, if they start stepping in, right? We have to hold this level, right? Sellers have to come in at this level. Because now, this old support level has to become new resistance level in order for us to keep going down, right? So we pushed up to this resistance and I said we have to hold it in order for it to go down. If we can't push it back down here and we can't hold this level, we're going to go back to the highs probably. So we pushed back to this level and we started pushing it right back down. We kind of tapped back. And why... Right? Why was my other thing is, why was my take profit right there? Like, how was I able to catch a perfect exit off this trade? Right? When I look at the chart, And when I kind of formulate my TPs, what I like to do is I like to take my TPs based on the highest probability area that I think price is going to go to. So, for example, look at this. I'll kind of zoom it in like this so you can see better. Right? Price, it took out the high, and when I got short, where would my TP? Why did I want to take a TP right at these where it wicked me out? Because when I look to the left, what do you see right there? Look at all this support. So old resistance becomes new support, right? Just like what happened here. And we broke down, this old support became new resistance for it to go back down. Now, I'm thinking the highest probability area, if I do go short, is there's a high likelihood it's going to want to bounce off this kind of this old resistance becoming new support. And what did it do? It pushed back down, bounced off this area right there, and then now we're starting to move it back up. So that's why I had my TP there. And we have the 200 right there too. So that also plays a part in it. And I said, right, when I took the trade, I said the only thing that kind of worries me about this trade is what I don't want it to do is these lows. What I don't want it to do is take out these lows and then start moving back up. And that's kind of what it tried to do, if you see that, right? We have these lows right here. Look, price took out these lows and then we started to try to push back up. And I said we have to hold it in order for it to go back down. And we held it and we went right back down. If we wouldn't have held it, we would have went right back up. So now, see what's happening? Now if I get a close, what I'm thinking is if we close above this gap right here, we're probably going to want to go for these highs to take out those highs right there. So let's see if it happens, right? All right, we got the closure. I said if we close, we're probably going to want to go to those highs. In my eyes, right? Not that I'm going to take this trade because it doesn't make sense, but I can still analyze and say, okay, if we're closing right now above this gap, what I think is going to happen is we're going to go for the highs. And we're going to want to take out those highs. Is it going to go? And I do have, so I have two sets of accounts. Like I was saying before, it's a similar strategy, but my funded accounts, I'm very picky with those accounts because I had got into some drawdown taking dumb trades on those accounts, and now I've become super picky on those accounts. I have a strategy on my funded accounts that happens once a week. Last week it happened once a week. This week it happened today. It happened today, and I took the trade, and I took my profit, and I walked away. It's probably going to be done with those sets of accounts for the week. If we get another setup, we get another setup. But I'm just super picky because those are my funded accounts. And but my other evaluation accounts, I'm scalping. Like, it's just Can you show me what liquidity looks like? Yeah, I'll show you real quick. Do you recommend anyone to watch to understand day trading for beginners? Anyone to watch? I mean, see, everyone has a different strategy. That's the thing. You have Trades by Matt. He has a completely different strategy. You have Patrick Whelan. He has a completely different strategy. So it's just based on, like, there are some futures traders, you just got to pick what strategy you have. I have a different strategy than both of them. You have other futures traders. So it's just, I don't know if I would necessarily recommend anyone. I would just start watching content and just start learning. I would try to get, things from everyone. So somebody asked, can you show me what liquidity looks like? So if I go 15-minute time frame, right? This is the 15-minute time frame that I have. What the heck? Unhandled expectation. Okay. Let me delete let me kind of take everything off the chart. So, and I'll start marking it out. It's kind of like, there's too much going on right now. Let me delete all this. All right. So 9:30. Where was 9:30 open? So this big red candle down right there, that's the 9:30 candle that opened up. 15-minute 9:30 candle. What does liquidity look like? Right? Look at these areas, right? Where price rejects and bounce off of. So like, look at this area right here, right? Price moved up to this area and it had a strong move down from that area. So this would be a liquidity point for me. And this is on a 15-minute chart. Like these higher time frames, they're stronger liquidity points because they're higher time frames. So this is a liquidity point, right? And it aligns, look at this aligns with this one too, right? So what did price do? It tapped into this area, rejected. Then it went back up to this area around 9:15 and then rejected heavily again, right? So now I'm looking at this area as a pretty good liquidity point because it rejected off there. And that's kind of why I was looking to go potentially short if it confirmed it, which it did. Also, this area right there is a strong liquidity point. I took a long off this. Right? 9:30 candle open, this red candle. I was looking at this area right here. Why? Because when we pushed down, we had a massive strong move up from that area. So I'm thinking this is a pretty strong liquidity point. Meaning what I'm looking for is for it to take this low out and then confirm that it wants to go back up in order for me to potentially take a scalp long. Same thing with a short. I want it to take out a liquidity, which is like this, and then confirm that it wants to go down. I don't recommend to invest anything. I can't recommend. I'm not a financial advisor. And this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. All right. So remember what I said, right? This is why I like to look at price. Watch price action too. If anyone was in here when I said this, you know what I said. This gap right there. What did I say? When it closed, I said if it closes above this gap, we're probably going to want to take out these highs. What happened? We closed above. We took out these highs. Now what is it wanting to do? It's trying to go lower. And that's why I said if I was, for example, if I didn't take profit for some reason, and I said, right, somebody's like, well, where's your stop out? When I entered right there, where is your stop? I said my hard stop is above the highs. But if we close above this gap, I'm looking to get out. I'm probably going to get out if we close above this gap right there. Because if it closes above the gap, we're probably going to want to go for those highs, most likely. So I want to protect my losses too at the same time. I don't want my losses to be huge. Thank you so much. I actually got liquidity now. Yeah, no problem. Why does everyone have to say that? Say what? Why does everyone have to say what? And this is how I see it, right? So what I said, the market, for me, how I see the market, it likes to take out liquidity and it likes to fill imbalances. Look at this. It took out this liquidity. And what did it do? It tapped into this imbalance right there. And now it's trying to rip right back up. Either it's going to continue ripping right back up or it's going to go back down. I mean, and this all trading is getting into having areas in the chart where you can predict a higher percentage. If you're going long, a higher likelihood it's going to go to your profit target than your stop out. Because there are certain areas in the market where the odds are in your favor, right? There are certain areas in the market where you can see where the odds would be in your favor, and that's where you take trades off of. And that's different for everyone with different strategies, right? insightful, going to go up or down? Well, obviously we're gonna go up and down, or up or down, but it's what price? Like, if it taps into this gap, right? Buyers are gonna probably starting to try to push it back up. If buyers can't push it back up and we start breaking below this gap, we're probably gonna start going back down for a lower area. Being able even to predict price a little bit like this, you could scalp 10 points. Like, people make money off of scalping 10 points. And I mean, it's all the market is it's probabilities, right? All you're doing is taking trades based on probabilities. That's it. That's all you're doing. And if you know probabilities, nothing is 100%. I mean, you can't accurately predict the market 100% of the time. So that's why you have stop losses. That's why you get out when you're wrong. And I said earlier, I literally, my take profit, if you've seen, my take profit was right there. Where this blue line is right now, that's where my take profit was. How was I able to know that price was going to bounce there? I didn't know. I didn't know that price was going to bounce there. But I knew in my head there's a high probability that price can bounce there. So that's why I put my TP there. And it's exactly because and it did bounce there. New highs incoming, yeah. It held it. Now we're starting to push to try to make new highs. Like, you gotta understand. Oh, hold on. Is TikTok trying to? I don't know why TikTok does that. No, what the heck? Oh, what the heck? That's why I got trying to make me fill out a puzzle. Bro, what? Sorry, I have to do this. What? If I end live, I'll be back on. It's gonna, I think, end my live for me. Hold on. It's making me do some kind of stupid puzzle, which is like, I don't know why it's not letting me do it. Bro! It's trying to make me do a puzzle, but my cursor is like... Give me a second, guys. Alright, I was verified. That's why it kicked me out of my live yesterday. It was like ending live. Yesterday was like ending live due to inactivity. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm literally... But I guess they make you do a puzzle, and sometimes I can't tell if it's making me do a puzzle because I'm not looking at the freaking... Alright, we're good now. Yeah, they want to make sure I'm live, but like, I'm looking at my charts. That's the thing, like, the live studio, TikTok live studio, it's in the background of my, and I'm looking at the charts, so I can't tell if they're trying to make me do a puzzle, and they think I'm not, in activity. That's why I was wondering yesterday why they ended my live due to inactivity, but now I can see why. I have to somehow figure out how to keep it open so I could, we'll see. I already forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? Crap. So like, okay, look at this right here, right? What I can, think, right, is if we start going high, okay, we're gonna keep going higher. That's obviously common sense. If we start breaking below, say for example, we break below this low right here, and we close below this gap. Well, now in my head, I'm thinking, okay, if we're closing below this low right here, and we start making a move down, now, in order for us to continue moving down, we're gonna have to push back up. We can push back up, and they have to hold this. This old support has to become new resistance. in order for it to, right, push down, tap back here, they have to hold it and keep going down. If they can't hold it going down, they're going to go back up. It's like, and it's like, there's a high likelihood if we do break down and we tap back into it, there's a high likelihood we can get some form of selling pressure here, right? There's going to be some form of pressure. A lot of sellers can start stepping in to hold it down. Oh, let me see. Sorry. I'm trying to. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, let me know. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much, you gotta look at trading as just probabilities. That's it. There's certain times there's a higher probability that's gonna go in one direction than another, and you just take trades based off of probabilities, because nobody will ever be able to accurately predict the market. I mean, if you were able to accurately predict the market 100% of the time, I mean, you'd be a billionaire, and you'd be freaking, hedge funds would be trying to. But there are areas, if you look at the market long enough, you start to notice like certain patterns that start to play out, certain things that happen in the market. And like, another tip is like, if you do get into a trade, have a plan, get out. Like, there's always tomorrow, right? It's never worth revenge trading, right? And what some people do, if they miss, for example, if someone wanted to go long right here, right? If someone wanted to go long right there, they don't go long right here, and then they see price start moving up, and buy, like, in this area right there, or in this area right here, they're like, all right, I'm going to go long. Like, if you didn't go long right there, why are you getting long right here? Right? So it's like, they go long, and then they get stopped out for a loss. And it's like, really? Or they'll hold and blow their account because they get emotional. There's always tomorrow. There's always another trade, right? So it's never worth, you know, not having a stop loss and then losing a bunch of money on one trade. You got to have a set risk you're willing to take per trade. You want to be able to live another day. If you take a loss, you want to be able to come in tomorrow with your account still not blown. So now we're kind of, I mean, okay, let's look at the 15-minute chart. Let's see what's going on here. Let me try to kind of zoom in here. I mean, now if you see, look at the 15-minute chart. We're going higher. The next highs are right there. So we could potentially want to start moving to these next highs right there. And that's the high I have marked out, if you can see right there. So I have that high marked out. Let's go on the 1-minute chart. Give me a second. Let me actually. So in my opinion, I think we're gonna want to go back up. I think we're gonna want to try to target these highs now. What's this ticker? This is NQ. NQ futures. But I'm on the MNQ chart, which is the micro futures of but can I take a call on NQ? No, there's no such thing as calls or puts. That's options. Options have calls or puts. This is futures. There's buy market, sell market. There's, you know, just regular orders. There's none of that like calls, puts, blah blah blah. You want to go long, you buy. You want to go short, you sell. And then if you sell in order to cover your short, you buy. You buy it back. Hold on, give me a second. I'll be back in like a second. Baby, come back to me. I was wrong. Sorry. I think I need to get better. I wish TikTok had live studio for Mac. For some reason, what the? TikTok doesn't have live studio for Mac, which is insane. I would have so much better of a stream. And I just can't live without you. What does green red candles mean again? So every candle, right? Every candle has a opening price, a high, a low, right? So it has a body high, body low, and it has a wick. So for example, this red candle, what this red candle means, right? So you see the top of the red candle, the body top of this red candle. That means price opened right there. This wick means the price made a high. So that's the high of that 1 minute candle. That's the high. Price opened, made this high, and then the red indicates that price closed lower than it opened, right? That's why it's red. If this price would have closed above, it would have been green. So anytime it goes below, that's why you see it changing color, right? So right now, this candle is red because it opened right there, and it's below its opening price, so it's red. And wherever it closes, that's where it forms. That's where the candle, like, solidifies that's what... So see right now, see how it's changing color when it goes up? It's green. When it goes down, it's red. No problem. Thoughts on Tesla today? I don't even look at stocks. I don't look at Tesla. I don't look at Nvidia. I don't look at any. All I trade is price action. That's it. That's all I trade. I don't care what... It doesn't matter to me what Nvidia is doing, what any other stock is doing. All I need to see is price action. So, and I just read what price wants to do based off its history. So, like right now, if I look at this chart right now, right, what's going on? Remember, I said old resistance becomes new support. This was a resistance, right? It was rejecting off this area. It formed a resistance. It broke through that resistance. Now, in order for price to continue going up, it has to hold this kind of like support level. So I'm thinking it has to bounce right there. This area, it has to start bouncing. If it can't bounce off this area, in my eyes, I think it's gonna at least want to take out some kind of like low. If it can't bounce here, it's going to want to take out some kind of low before it starts trying to go back up again. So, pretty much, let's see if they can hold it. See what I'm saying? See how they're trying to hold it up and that candle is coming in with some buying pressure? Because they need to hold this area right here. And all the market is it's supply and demand, right? There's certain areas where a lot of buyers, that's why you see price moving up, because there's certain areas where a lot of buyers are stepping in. Anytime you have more buying pressure, the price goes up. When you have more selling pressure, the price goes down. It's called break structure. Yeah, I mean, there's different terms. I mean, there's different terms for it. Break of structure, I mean, I never studied ICT, and the thing about ICT, he just made it, like, this stuff was around before he even, like made it mainstream. It was around, he just gave it, like, a term, right? Like, before, for example, ICT term, liquidity sweeps, right? Before ICT, nobody called it liquidity sweeps. People just called it a high got taken out, a low got taken out, like, he just made it mainstream. It's not like he invented the term. He's a good marketer, so he marketed these kind of terms and made a lot of money off it. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is. I just look at it as a resistance and support, right? This is resistance. It broke through resistance. Old resistance becomes new support, or has to. Usually, in order for it to go up, it has to hold as support. Old resistance is holding as new support. But yeah, I mean, break a structure, whatever you want to call it. I don't think it matters what you call it, as long as you can see that that's what happens, and you can. But so, you know, we're going back up. That's what I'm saying. It has to hold this area for them. They're gonna, for them to push it back up. If they can't hold this area, we're going down, lower. Yeah, TGR is actually pretty good. Oh. Yeah. TJR actually teaches pretty good, and he has a similar has a similar strategy to what I do. It's different, but it's similar. Yeah, what you could do is you can learn from different people, but kind of take pieces, right, of knowledge from other people. But in my opinion, the best learning that you could do, right, you want to get the basics down, but like actually looking at the charts and seeing what price is doing is like the best knowledge you can get, is actually putting time on the charts and actually looking how the candles move, not necessarily even taking trades. If like something like this, I already took 2 trades today. I don't need to take more trades, but even sitting here and looking at the chart and just predicting where price is gonna go. Like I said, right? It broke through here. What price has to do if it wants to go higher, if it needs to hold this as support if it wants to go higher from here on out. If it can't hold this as support, we're going lower to maybe take out this low to then push it back higher. If we can't take out this low, we're going for something like, price is gonna react based on what it does. So now we're pushing through. We're making higher highs, higher highs, higher highs. I appreciate the follow. Thank you. So dude, that first, and this is, I know you're not supposed to do this, but dude, that first trade, look at this. My entry was right there. This candle closed, this green candle was where I entered long. And then I took profit right there. And look at this freaking, oh my gosh, literally just kept going up ever since I entered. But, it is what it is. I obviously would never hold that long, but I think we're going to want to go for these highs right here. At least, before. And then when we get to these highs, right? Look at this. When we get to these highs right here, right? What can I predict that's going to happen when we get to these highs? We're going to get some selling pressure at these highs right here. Why? Because naturally we're going to have a lot of people, first of all, taking profit at those highs, right? And we're going to have maybe a lot of people going short at those highs. So there's going to be a lot of selling pressure. So you see price moving strong right now. As we get to those highs, most likely we're going to get some form of selling pressure at these highs. Not 100%. Now, I've seen highs get broken through and it just keeps running up. That's possible, but probability-wise, I've seen it, you know, give some sort of like resistance up here. Thoughts on Bitcoin 2023 to now? I don't do crypto, but yeah, Bitcoin's going crazy. Bitcoin's at like all-time highs, I think. I regret not getting Bitcoin back when I was in school. I remember when I was in middle school, I remember us doing a project on, like, I think it was Bitcoin. And Bitcoin back then was like, y'all hear the news that 50 Cent, apparently 50 Cent forgot that he had a whole bunch of Bitcoin. I don't know if he still has it or he lost it, but like, he forgot. I guess someone bought some album or whatever. I didn't read the whole story, but dude literally forgot he had a bunch of Bitcoin that now is worth like 76 million or something like that. That's insane. But that's like, yeah, that's like something like who would have known that freaking Bitcoin was gonna run up to over 100 grand? I mean, you never know. I got a friend got 320 out of Bitcoin. Dang, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I remember talking about Bitcoin when it was at 17,000. I remember when it was at 17,000, people were like, "Oh, it's overbought. This thing is crazy. It says 17,000." A lot of people sold at 17,000 because they thought it was super high. It was gonna go back down. I mean, considering, and when you compare it to other cryptos, 17,000 even is pretty crazy. He's smart. He's smart. If he actually took his profits and now he's not like, you know, putting it back in and trying to risk it again, he's smart. The people that get screwed are the people that are like, "Oh, it's gonna keep going up forever. It's gonna keep," and they never, ever, ever take profit like that. Wasn't there a Doge guy? That Doge guy, he was up millions and he didn't take profit, and now he's still holding it. I mean, I don't get that. As somebody who trades, I don't get why. I just have a plan. I get in, I know where I'm getting out, or I get stopped out. I don't hold something hoping it's gonna go up. I've done that when I began trading and then didn't end well, so I don't do that anymore. It's just like, trading is just like a business. I mean, you gotta have a plan, right? Any business, you don't go into a business just willy-nilly start buying random stuff and like hoping that you make money on it, right? You go into a business, you have a business plan, you know what you're gonna do, you know your profit margins, you know how much you have to spend, you know all that. And even businesses lose money. Like, for example, I don't trade for a living. I have work. Like, I have a business. I buy and sell cars, right? So even with cars, I lose money on cars. If I get a car, there's a potential. I've lost money on cars, and you have to minimize your losses even in business. You have to get out. If it's a bad car, you take your loss and you move on. You go to move on to something else. Same thing with trading. You take a bad trade, you take a loss, and you move on. You don't hold and you hope that you eventually make money. Yeah, that's the big mistake people make. People already got to the TP, they hold, and they think it's going to continue going up. They think it's going to always just keep going up, going up, going up, going up. If you want to do that type of strategy, buying S&P 500 is probably the safest way to go. Because, I mean, over time, S&P 500 keeps going up. But, like, still, it's just not a good, not a good strategy to have. Because Right? What goes up must come down. So, and we're taking out the highs. And a lot of times, why do you have like so much buying pressure also at these highs like this? Because think about it, when somebody is short, right? For example, if I was short, what do you have to do in order to cover your short? You have to buy back, right? So if you have shorts buying back, and then you have people potentially going long, maybe that are breakout traders, that are like people that do breakouts. So you have shorts covering their positions, buying back, and then you have other people buying in. So you have so much buying pressure that a lot of times you'll see price just blow through these areas too. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it kind of like bounces here and starts rejecting. Sometimes it just blows through these areas. And boom, lost a lot of money. Yeah, can you imagine that psychology? If you're like, say if you're up like a crazy amount, if you're up like 100 grand and you never take profit and then you end up losing everything, that's like, that puts you in a really bad mental space. It's better to take the profit than to, you know, regret not taking profit and putting you in a really bad mental space. Well, prop firms, Apex. I use Apex. I've tried other prop firms, but I like Apex. First of all, it's pretty cheap. And second of all, you can have up to 20 accounts. So if you're actually good at trade, if you learn how to trade and you're disciplined and you can prove that you can make money and you have 20 accounts, it's pretty good. And I don't recommend buying 20 accounts right away. I recommend getting like one account and learning. And then when you prove into yourself that you can pass evaluations, and then you can start getting more accounts. And then you get a copy trader. I have a copy trader and I can copy trade on all 20 accounts, right? So if I make, say, $100 on one account, right? And if I have 10 accounts, it's $1,000. If I have 20 accounts, it's $2,000. So it really does multiply like crazy. Doesn't Apex have issues paying out? No, so people say that. People say Apex doesn't want to pay out. Apex doesn't want to pay out. Listen, Apex has rules, and if you break the rules, yes, you'll get denied a payout. People get denied payouts because they break rules. And all you have to do, for example, if you do break a rule, right? If you're trading and you break a rule, and then you submit a payout and Apex denies you the payout because you broke a rule, all you have to do is you trade, I think it's like 10 more days. So you trade a certain amount more days and you can request another payout. And if you follow the rules, they'll give you the payout. And people don't like these prop firms because of the rules that they have. Oh, they have too much rules, this, that. Like, you gotta understand that these prop firms have to protect themselves too. They can't just make the rules super easy to where somebody can just take one trade, you know, make a bunch of profit and then request a $20,000 payout. They're going to go bankrupt doing that. So they want to make sure that the people are getting payouts, that they can actually, like, you've proven that you actually can follow the rules, you can get the payout. They don't want people gambling on one trade, you know, making a bunch of money and then them having to pay you out. That's why they have rules. They have to protect themselves. Because let's face it, the way prop firms work is that you have a whole bunch of people, right? You have a whole bunch of people failing accounts, and then you have those few people that learn how to trade, and those people that are getting paid out from the people that are, you know, losing accounts. And everyone goes through a phase of losing accounts. Hey, I've lost a lot of accounts. I've paid my dues. I've paid my fair share of evaluation accounts. So I've lost a lot of money in the market, believe me. And it's just, you become more disciplined. When you go through that, you become more disciplined as a trader, which is, you know, some people say it's just the price you pay in the market. Some people go to college and pay college tuition. It's the price you pay in the market. You take stupid trades, you get smacked in the face a couple times, and you learn. If the market has a huge day and I capitalize on it, I deserve to be paid out. That's what people think, and that's what people do, right? And especially Apex. Apex has a 1-day pass rule. So for evaluation accounts, you can pass that evaluation account in 1 day. So imagine if you can pass an evaluation in 1 day, go to a funded account, take a freaking 20 contract trade or whatever they allow you, make $20,000 in one trade, and then request a payout. Like, it doesn't work that way. So, but it's like, even if you trade your own live account, you still have to have your own rules. You can't just like do that on your own live account. You wouldn't do that, so why are you doing it on a funded account? Because you're trying to make quick money. You're not trying to learn how to trade. You're trying to take quick profits. You're trying to cheat the system. That's what you're trying to do. And it's not going to end well. It's just going to, eventually, you're going to go broke. And people think you can't go broke buying evaluation accounts. You can go broke buying evaluation accounts. Especially if you keep resetting every single day, buying multiple accounts. My recommendation is treating, if you pass the evaluation, treating your funded account as if you were trading a live account. So that if worse comes to worse, you can always switch to a live account if you've proven yourself that you can trade. But, yeah, no problem. Alright, so price, see, it's what did I say? It takes out liquidity, right? And it likes to kind of like fill these imbalances. Look what it's doing. It formed a gap. Now it's kind of trying to bounce off this gap. If we can't hold this imbalance and we start closing below this imbalance, for example, right? I said I look at it as in terms of probability. So look at this. You have this imbalance, right? And if I look at it in terms of probability, what can I think, right? If we hold this imbalance, right, we're going up, obviously. That's a given. If we fail to hold this imbalance and we start closing below the imbalance, what's the next highest probability that it's going to go to, in my opinion? Right here. You see this old resistance? This can become new support. So if we do close right here, there's a high likelihood we could either bounce off this right here, or if we can't hold this as support, we can go for this low right here, and we could try to take out this low before moving back up. I know it's easier said than done, but like that's just how I look at it and how I take trades off. You take trade, like I take trades based off confirmation. I don't try to guess, like try to go, try to go short right here just because it's going down a little bit. Right? I needed to confirm that sellers are stepping in order for me to go with them. And it's like the term, you don't want to be the first one to the party, right? And you don't really want to be the last one to leave. You want to get in the middle. Same thing with trading. You want to come in the middle. Like you want to, when the move starts happening, if you want to get short, you want a confirmation that sellers are starting to step in. And you want to get in the middle of the move and take a little sliver of it. This is NQ Futures. Appreciate the follow, thank you. And yeah, I do this, I'm here every day, so Monday through Friday, as long as the market's open. I try to be here every day, so we have fun. We analyze the market. And we take what we can, and we move on. If we take a win, today we had 2 winning trades. Pretty good. If you take a loss, you move on too. It's part of the thing. I've taken losses. I've gone on losing streaks. I've gone on winning streaks. Dun, 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 dun. So now we're bouncing off this imbalance. We're kind of starting to push up. I mean, it's forming higher highs. I mean, the market's not showing any signs that it wants to go lower. We have this liquidity right now. We're holding it. For me, a confirmation that it wants to go lower is if it closes below this gap. I think we're gonna get a little move down, at least a little, I think at least to these this support right here. But right now, We're making higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high. And I don't need to catch, right? I don't need to catch a crazy move. If I do go in a position, I don't need to catch an insane move. And some people have this strategy where they take partials. I don't know. I don't take partials. Maybe I should try to. It does seem pretty good if you take partials for a move like this. Like if I was to take partials for the trade that I got in the morning when I got in this trade, if I was to take a partial right here, take a partial right there, maybe. I mean, I don't know. My psychology, I feel like for my psychology, I like to take my full profit. Because one thing that I think will mess with my psychology is if I take a partial and then say I get out half and then I get stopped out break even, and then I'll be like, well, if I would have taken a full TP, I would have had more profit now than taking a partial. So I don't know. I feel like for my psychology, for me, it's better just to take my full profit. But, oh man, my muscles freaking, I have a bad habit of sleeping on my stomach. And every time I wake up, my freaking muscles ache. All right, now we're kind of, there's a potential we could be showing signs of, and here's the thing, right? We have this liquidity. If I go back on the 15-minute chart, check this out. We had marked out that liquidity, right? This right here. Appreciate the likes. Thank you. Good morning. What's up? So we had marked out this liquidity right here, right? I don't know if you could see it. Yeah, you can see it. Now look. Go back to the 1-minute chart. I want to see what prices wants to do at that liquidity. Let's predict. Let's predicto. Predicto. Oh, crap. Sorry. I have to kind of... All right. So that blue line right there, right? That blue line is that liquidity that we had drawn on the 15-minute chart. So they tried to hold this in balance. Now we're kind of getting lower. I mean, if we start closing below, it's a possible confirmation. And plus, here's the thing also, right? If price does close below this gap right here, in my eyes, if they do push it up, we have this resistance now that has formed. So if they do push it up, there's a resistance now that has to hold for them to keep going down. So let's see what happens. I'm not taking this trade, but I already took 2 trades today. I just don't want to give up any profits. So I'm not taking this trade, but I'll look at it and just predict if I can predict it correctly. So let's wait for the close. We got some time. It still hasn't closed below. Let's see if we can actually get this to so it's still holding. Here's my prediction, right? If we can get a close below this gap, I think it's going to go for at least... Here, let me even mark it out. For example, I think it's going to go for at least these highs right here. If it doesn't bounce off those highs, we're going for like a low. If it bounces off, we have this resistance right here that it has to get through. So we're going to see some selling pressure at this resistance level. We do see a lot of selling pressure. You see how, and if you look at the candles, you see how price moved up and then aggressively sold off right away? In my eyes, it looks like buyers are trying to step in. I mean, sellers, sorry. Sellers are starting to step in at this level. So... And here's the thing, right? Like, if I was to want to take a trade, it never closed below, so I never go short if it hasn't closed below. So they're still holding it pretty good. How do I start trading? You just start learning. You start learning and you become obsessed with it. is how you get better and better at it. You become obsessed with it. I was obsessed with trading, man. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing. Like learning wise and figuring out a strategy that works for you and sticking to the strategy, learning more about it, and then every single day staring at the charts and just analyzing price action and trying to even maybe not even taking a trade all the time, but doing what I'm doing right now and just trying to predict where price is going to go based on where it's at, right? So all right, this candle is about to 30 seconds left in this candle. $30 seconds left. Let's see if it closes. I'm not going to take this trade, but just want to see if it works out if I would have taken it. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Nope. It hasn't closed. See that? It still didn't close. Let's see the next minute candle. Remember I said, if we close below, I think the highest probability is it's gonna want to go to this level right here. Let's see. 30 seconds left again. Oh, come on. Come on. Bruh. Come on, brother. See, they're pushing it up and you're staying out of it. You're not trying to just go, you're not trying to go short at random areas. You're actually looking for something to go short. When should I start? I can't recommend that. I'm not a financial advisor. I wish I could just tell people like accurately what to do and they make money, but it doesn't work that way. I'm not about to tell you how to do. I'm not about to tell you to do something and then you're gonna lose money and be pissed off at me. That's an individual thing. You gotta determine your risk. You gotta make your own plans and take your own risks. Yeah, that's life. I take risks every day, man. I buy and sell. For my actual like I trade in the mornings, but I work too. I'm not like these other like, oh, I'm trading, and then I'm gonna go relax at the beach. No, I actually I buy and sell cars for a living. So I buy cars from insurance companies. Like when somebody gets into an accident, right? I buy cars from insurance companies and I fix them up and sell them. So I take a risk too. Even in my business, I take a risk. When I take a car, for example, I have a car. Freaking telemarketers. I have a car, right? I have a car in the garage that I'm fixing and I took a risk on. I bought the car. It had a little bit of damage on it. I'm like, it's going to be an easy fix, nothing bad. I get the car and there's a hole in the transmission. I took a risk and now I have to deal with fixing that. You know, so it's like, anything you do in life, you have to take risks in order to make good money. If you don't want to take risks, I mean, that's fine too, but you can't expect to make crazy money if you don't take risks. But here's the thing, you take risks, but you take calculated risks. You don't just take risks willy-nilly. You take risks based on probability, based on, you know, and you take calculated risks and you understand the risk you're taking and the money you could potentially lose. Is this Trading View? No, this is Ninja Trader. I've never used Trading View. I have Ninja Trader, and then I have on my I have Thinkorswim too. That when I used to trade options, I have a chart on Thinkorswim, so I use that as my chart too. But the only thing I don't have on this chart that I have on my Thinkorswim chart is a view op. That's it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why Ninja Trader doesn't have the view op, but maybe you have to buy it, which is kind of dumb. But that's the only thing. Everything else I have on this chart. Yeah, it's Thinkorswim. Is it Thinkorswim? Yeah. Ninja Trader and Thinkorswim. I mean, you could just use... You don't need Thinkorswim. I just use it because I already have it, so I just have it up. But, like, you don't need Thinkorswim. You could just use Ninja Trader. Just trying to learn and observe. Yeah. And watch the markets. Like, you know, before you get maybe a PropFirm account and try to start trying to learn how to do it, you know, just watch the markets and try to, you know, even if you don't want to buy a PropFirm account, trade a simulated. Get a simulated account, trade like fake money. And just kind of prove to yourself there. It's like, and if you could do that, you start buying PropFirm accounts or... But one thing I think nobody should ever really do is people have this... I used to have this mindset, right? Like, oh, I want to be able to make money and trade and not have to work. Like, I don't think anybody should ever quit their job or ever quit work or quit working to trade, to just trade. Like, you never want to do that. First of all, you never want to sit on the markets all day. Like, if I wasn't live, I would have walked away a long time ago at 11 o'clock. So, it's like... So there's no reason for anyone to ever quit their job to trade. Oh, you're doing crypto, or does Coinbase have stocks too, or is it just crypto for longer term? Yes, but like platforms like that, like you have Robinhood, you have Coinbase. I guess platforms like that are not bad for like long-term trades, but they're not good for like day trading. My thought is trading is the job. I just want to be home with my baby for a few years at least. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying like trading can't be your job. I'm saying it should never be your only source of income. Because here's what happens too. When trading is your only source of income, it puts a mental strain, like psychological strain on you. And it puts you in a really bad mindset of, I have to make money. You never want to be in that mindset in trading where I have to make money. I have to make money because I need bills to, I have to. It's a really bad mindset. It puts you in a mindset of, then you start to take stupid trades because you feel like you have to take money. If you're in a spot where you have money, where you don't need to make money from trading, right? It puts you in a spot where like, I'm going to be patient. I don't need to take this trade. I'm just going to be patient for the good trades, and you end up making money. Like that's the only thing. It just puts you in a really bad mental space if you're relying on trading. Yeah, it pushes you to revenge trade, because if bills are due and you have to take trades, it pushes you to take dumb trades, which is a really bad spot to be in. I mean, there are other jobs, right? You could do like work from home jobs. There are plenty of work from home jobs that you could do and trade too. And trading takes some time to learn. I mean, everybody has a different learning curve, but like I've been doing it kind of full time for 2 years already, and I'm still learning. So it's like, I read that you're not supposed to be doing it more than 2 hours max, because the longer you, yeah, you're not supposed to. I mean, I wouldn't stay on the charts longer than 2 hours. Most people don't. Like, this mindset of, like, people sitting at the charts all day long is, like, Nobody really does that. And if you do that, that's crazy. Like, you just get mentally burned out. Especially if you have a bad day and you're losing money and you're sitting there, like, it's not a good spot to be in. Me personally, I like to take my trades, make my money, or if I lose money, I walk away. There's always tomorrow. I can come back tomorrow. But yeah, you never really want to... Now, you could sit here if you have nothing to do. I would recommend sitting and just analyzing price action. There's nothing wrong with that. That helps you. But sitting here and taking trades constantly is not a good thing. But sitting and analyzing price action like what I'm doing right now is pretty good, because it builds that like practice. It builds that mental, like you see right now, like what I said, right? Price has to hold. If they can't hold this, they reject it. If we close below, right? I'm predicting that we could go at least to this support level right here. But yeah, I mean, trading is just fun. I enjoy it. I think it's fun. I gotta go soon. It's already 11:30. I've been on the charts since 9:30. I've been on the charts for 2 hours already. 2 hours, I took 2 trades. Ideally, I like to take 1 trade. Like, ideally, I like to take 1 trade and be done with it. Sometimes, like today, I took 2 trades because I just saw an opportunity. But most of the time, it's usually 1 trade a day. I don't get 2 trades a day often. Yesterday, there was a setup, I think, for 2 trades. Today, there was a setup for 2 trades, but it doesn't really happen too often. Look, they're failing to close it below this gap. I mean, why is it so hard for price to get below this gap? Every time it gets to this level, it's just like freaking... Appreciate the likes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I help what I can. If you have any questions, let me know. Dun, 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 dun. Staying alive. Staying alive. Appreciate the like. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's holding this level, man. It's this 15-minute, this line I have drawn right here is that 15-minute liquidity, like 15-minute high that I had set. So you could see it's kind of bouncing off that 15-minute high. Did we get a new candle already? Let's see. Let's look on the 15-minute chart. All right, 15-minute chart. Yeah, so you see, like, you can even see on the 15-minute chart, we kind of broke above it, and we're just bouncing off it. We're kind of trying to hold it as support. So let's see. I mean, they're failing to hold it. Like price now, look at price what it's doing, right? It's for the longest time, price was making higher highs. It formed a high. Look at that. They tried to push it back up. They failed to make a higher high. And now here's the second time it's failing to make a higher high. So what does that tell me? That tells me that there's weakness here, right? Price is getting weaker. That's not to say they just won't rip it right back up. It's possible. Obviously, anything's possible. But it's obviously showing weakness right now. What's a good amount of money to save to start? I want to start trading. I would not recommend if saving money and starting to do a live account. I would recommend if you want to learn how to trade, I would recommend doing a prop firm. I use Apex Trader Funding, but there are other prop firms that are reputable out there. You could choose, but like I would recommend picking a prop firm, buying just one evaluation account, trying to pass that evaluation account, learn a strategy, have a strategy before you try to do it, and then try to pass that evaluation account, get funded, and then go from there. And then eventually when you've proven to yourself, you can start buying more and more accounts. But for trading with prop firms, there's a very low barrier of entry for that. Like, and there's codes. Don't pay the full price. Never pay full price for prop firm. There's always discount codes you can get. Like Apex, 80% off, I think, if they still have it. I haven't checked in a while because I haven't. But like, it's like $33 for an evaluation account. Then you have to pay like activation fee. I think it's like 140 bucks. So it's not a lot of money to get into trading for these prop firms. And it's a good way to learn. It really is a good way to learn. How long did it take you to become prop? I've been doing this full time. And when I say full time, I mean like every single day coming into the market, 9:30, typically 9:30. When I say full time, I mean 9:30 to 11. So I've been every single day since 2022. And even before 2022, I was learning about trading. Like, I was still learning. I was like, you know, learning different stuff and trying different strategies, trying to figure out what works for me. And then I kind of went full time, meaning every single day I was trading at 9:30 to 11 in 2022. And so I honestly don't know how long it took me. I mean, it took me a long time. I think it took me long because I was jumping from strategy to strategy too much. I was trying one thing and it didn't work, and instead of sticking to it, I was jumping to something else, and it's just like, I mean, now I know different stuff, but like, my learning curve was, it was years. And everybody's gonna have a different learning curve because, right, everyone's psychology is also different. What a big factor of how fast you get this, how fast you learn how to trade is your psychology. Are you someone who gets angry easily? Like, do you get pissed off if you're gonna take a loss? Are you gonna get pissed off? Or are you just gonna accept the loss and understand that you can move on the next day? And here's the thing, if you take a trade and you get super pissed off at taking the trade, you probably went too heavy in the trade. You probably have too much risk on the table if you're getting super emotional in trading. Yeah, no problem, no problem. I'm glad I can help. If I can help in any way, I don't want people to lose money, right? I don't want you to put money into a live account and lose a bunch of money. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Prove to yourself, especially with these funded accounts, don't ever put in, I mean, I hear horror stories. I've heard horror stories where a guy, I just recently heard, guy's trying to day trade. He's like, he put in like $60,000, lost all the money. He's in crazy debt. He has more debt than he can afford. His monthly payments on his debt, he can't even afford. And he's thinking about taking more money out to try to make that back. Like, horrible space to be in. Don't ever, ever, ever do that. You never want to put yourself and your livelihood at risk. You only want to, and even in a live account, you only want to put in risk which you can afford to lose. You never want to put in more than you can afford to lose. Because trading is inherently, it's a risky thing, right? You can lose all your money. It's possible. Very possible. So, be careful. But with prop firms, it's a good learning tool. Cut losses early, don't DCA. Yeah, don't DCA. It rarely works. There may be a few people out there that can make it work for themselves, but typically, it is not going to end well. Like, here's my logic on DCA. Why would you DCA? If you took a trade and it keeps going lower and lower and it's just not working out, why are you DCAing into a losing trade? Why are you averaging in? That's like me buying a car, like I said earlier, right? I buy and sell cars for a living. That's like me buying a car, seeing that I'm losing money on the car, and me dumping more money into that car, and just increasing my losses. It's just the dumbest thing to do. Maybe there are a few people that can make it work, but it's just not a good plan. But also cut losses. When you say about losses, right? When you take losses, have your stops at areas that make sense. Like, don't just put a stop in an area just because you don't want to lose this much money, right? You have to position size accordingly And then you have to have your stops at areas that make sense, right? You don't want to enter a trade and then just have a stop immediately below where you entered and to just keep getting wicked out of your trade for losses. So like a lot of people have their stops above this high right here. I guarantee you there are a lot of people that took a short that now have their stops above this high, which is a logical area to have your stop set, but only seen success on like a fib. Oh, the Fibonacci? Yeah, a lot of people actually use that. I've tried it before. I just don't. I found what kind of works for me. I try not to like to have too many confluences, because when you have too many confluences, you start to get like, it starts to get a little too much. Yeah, but it works. I know people. There are people who use it. It works really well for them. But you just have to, yeah, whatever works for you. If it works for you and that's how you see, and you're able to, you know, then that's awesome. That's the cool thing about the market. There's so many things that actually work, right? There's so many things that you could do that will actually work. You just have to figure out what works for you. And that may take some time, right? A strategy that works for someone else may not work for you. Happy trading. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. It was fun. I'm gonna get going soon too. I'll be back. What's tomorrow's Friday, right? Yeah, so I'll be back. I'll be back Friday, tomorrow. Hopefully, Friday. Hopefully we have a good day. So far, it's been a pretty good. It's been a pretty good week. I've been taking some pretty decent trades. I'm pretty happy about this week. So Friday, I don't want to get too crazy on Fridays because I want to enter my weekend on a good note. So we'll see. We'll take a trade probably, and we'll see what happens. But that's that. That's that. So I appreciate y'all for joining. Come back tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow. Stop by, and we'll have some fun. Other than that, y'all stay safe out there. Don't take stupid trades, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.